Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another continuing education check-in. Today is super exciting. Our main topic is what should you wear on a first date? And we have a new segment today. We're calling it Red Flag, Green Flag. And we'll explain that a little later. But, Sonia, I want to ask you, what's going on with email cheater?
I feel like everything with email cheater fizzled out so quick. Remember how I was telling you guys that it was hard to find, like scheduling became confusing, and we were I didn't know if he wanted to hang out or if he would, try to hang out. We couldn't find a time or something like that, and it just that was it. That was the end of it. That's the last I heard from him.
That's insane. So
I know.
do you think he lost interest on his side?
I personally think, I don't know what happens when you go to Yosemite. I have never been. But something up in those mountains, completely caught his, attention, distracted him from me, which is crazy because, I thought if he was going to get over me or not be into me, it would be, before anything happened between us, it would be when I was in Canada. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if stuff that happened, maybe he got what he wanted and the chase was over, and then he went away. Maybe he met somebody else and he got more interest, in somewhere else, which aligns with his character of being a cheater.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's pretty clear he didn't have what he wanted. Not yet. Okay. But do you think that because it was so hard to schedule with you, that might have caused him to lose interest?
No, I feel like if I really want to see people, I'll make time. Mm-hmm. I will, do something. I'll wake up earlier. I'll do whatever I need to do in my day to make time. It's just he wasn't being very clear about how he wanted to hang out. He was just oh, and what are your plans this weekend? Mm-hmm. And I told him, oh, I'm doing X, Y, Z, and that was it. That's literally the last text that was sent in the chat.
Yeah, but when you send a text like that on your side,
yeah,
you're not telling him when you're available.
True, but this is only one time that he asked. He could have been oh, what about one day after work? Knowing him and knowing how he had been all along and how easy it had been to see him. Mm. For me, I look for convenience in a guy. If you're really easy to fit into my schedule, I really like that. And I'll be easy to fit into your schedule, but you have to tell me oh, I want to see you Sunday. I'll make sure I'm free Sunday then. Mm-hmm. But if you just tell me, oh, what are your plans this weekend? I'm not going to be a loser and be I'm doing nothing. I'm waiting for you to ask me to hang out.
Yeah. But I have a question. So let's say you said, okay, I'm doing this and that on Sunday, but then I'm probably free in the evening, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty clear.
True.
But then you didn't say that.
No, I didn't have that last sentence.
But are you saying that in the past when you guys have made plans, you could say it the way that you have been saying it and he would still take the initiative?
Okay, maybe not. Maybe usually I am. But this was one time. He asked me one time, what are you doing this weekend? And I said, oh, I'm doing this. And that was it. Uh-huh. I got no text afterwards, nothing oh, that sounds like fun. What are you going to do after? Or yeah. I said I'm anything. Or what are you doing that nothing. I got nothing after that.
Got it.
And like I said, I met him at a work event, and usually he does not miss those work events. I would skip them just so I don't have to see him, but he wasn't even at a work event. I put in a lot of effort because I really I don't like to show people that I care, but I like to care in my own ways. So I was fully expecting to see him at this work event on Friday, and I woke up extra early. I did my hair. It took me all day, and then I go to the event and he's not there. So I feel that's a pretty clear, and he knows I'm going to be there, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So I feel that's a pretty clear sign that things are kind of over on that front.
Damn, email cheater, you dropped the ball. But I guess on your side, do you think that you've lost interest now? Do you think his lack of communication and lack of pursuit has caused you to lose interest?
I feel when I think about people, I think about the good times. Uh-huh. So and the good times were really good. I did really like him, and it had been a really long time since I like somebody, because it's always somebody else likes me and then I have to decide if I like them or not, which is less fun. I know I'm a girl and I should be pursued, but sometimes I like to be the one choosing. Uh-huh. So it was fun for me that I chose him, but he also chose me back. Mm-hmm. That hasn't happened since my ex, which was 5 or 6 years ago now. Like, it's been a long time. So I was really excited about that idea.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like I don't want anybody in my life that doesn't want to be in my life. So, and I feel like his actions are pretty clear. And my mom didn't like him. So that's another strike against him.
But your mom never really met him. She's just hearing the stories after the fact.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and based on how he's acting, like, I wouldn't like him either.
Yeah. And, like, she doesn't even know all this stuff that he's been doing. Like, or not doing, I guess. So, yeah.
Okay. But I guess, where is your head at now? Are you, like, just over it? Are you...
Like, if I'm being honest with everybody, which I hate being honest, I hate talking about my feelings like that. Like, deep, very deep down, I guess I'm still, like, waiting for him. Just, like, others, because, like, obviously it's not very easy to move on to, like, somebody else that quickly.
Yeah.
So, like, deep down, I am still waiting for him, but also I'm not, like, stopping talking to anyone. You know?
I get the feeling that if someone else came around right now and they were, like, really awesome, I feel like you would be able to move on.
True.
But in this, like, period where there isn't anyone right now, like, you're, like... I think you would text back if he texted you.
I would
Yeah.
Even if somebody super awesome came along, I would still text back because I believe in closure. I do not... I'm very against ghosting.
Do you think that there is, like, a need for closure right now?
Well, like, I just need to know, like, why did you stop texting me? Like, did your mom die or something? Okay, that's really rude, but...
Is that?
Yeah.
Or maybe it happened.
No, that's why I said it's really rude, because I really hope it's not true. But, like, you know, like, I just need to, like, not that you owe me an explanation, but I feel like even going on a date with him, like cooking with him, like I feel like that was, like I said, a very intimate date. I don't do that with everyone.
Yeah.
And my friend told me it's like the theory of like sunken cost. And it's like I've invested something in you that I haven't given to everybody else, so I feel like you owe me an explanation now.
Okay. We might have to talk a little bit about like what counts as sunken cost and like when do you owe the other person an explanation. But thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that update.
You want to tell me about Houston, Ethan?
There isn't much to update you about Houston.
Really?
But I will update you periodically. I think it's hard because we've never met in person. And so we've been like doing calls, FaceTiming, and you know, like, because we were hanging out on Friday and then right before we hung out, I had a call with Houston and I had another call with her or FaceTime over the weekend. And it's interesting because I texted her to like set up the next call. And I really like the calls because it's a good way for us to like get to know each other. And I genuinely believe that to create a good foundation for a relationship, you just need to talk a lot.
100%.
And like screw the activities, screw like the meals, but
true.
like if you're like just talking and you're like being honest about yourself and like what you're looking for, your values, you'll get closer really quickly. So that's why I like the calls, but then like I'm also trying to like keep it lighthearted and not like too serious.
I think it's not a problem at all that you guys haven't met in person yet. I think since you guys have FaceTimed, you can kind of, you know, obviously neither of you is catfishing. You can you check that off. And then in terms of like, you know, like what's below what the camera can see, like someone's like body, I feel like if you like somebody enough, like literally that does not matter.
I agree.
So I think you guys are going about it the right way.
I actually do have some tea, now that I think about it. But well, I'm not going to jump into that right away. So I texted her and I was like, do you use Apple Pay or Venmo? Because I was like, I asked her if she was free on Wednesday for FaceTime. And then I asked her that because I was like, oh, it would be cute if I like sent her some money and then she can like order food.
Okay.
Or like get dinner for herself.
Cute.
Yeah, especially on Wednesday. You guys are gonna see this.
Wednesday?
Yeah, you guys are gonna see
Valentine's Day Wednesday.
It's Valentine's Day. You guys are gonna see this way after Valentine's Day. But so I texted her like asking like how I can send her money.
Yeah.
And then she said, oh, is this a date? And so
Oh my god.
My first reaction was just to be like blunt and straightforward, like a guy usually does. But then I was like, okay, let me like be a little playful back. And so I was like, do you want it to be?
Yeah.
And so then I kind of realized, okay, even though we've been having these calls and FaceTimes, like they don't even count as dates. and that makes sense. But I don't even know like how like Wednesday FaceTime is gonna count as a date. Like if I'm gonna have to do anything different.
I think so. I had a friend all through undergrad, and he used to have a long distance girlfriend. He recently got married in Colombia last summer. So clearly whatever they did worked out. And they would do, I remember we would all be going out on the weekends because obviously we were in engineering, like, you know, free time is hard to come by. And he'd be like, no, I'm going to my room. I have a date with my girlfriend. And I was like, what do you mean you have a date with her? Like, what? And so, you know, they would make cute little cards, and they would just show each other on video call. Like, let's say it's Valentine's Day, he'd make her a Valentine's Day card with his hands and show her. And he has like a nice shirt on, even though it's all on video call. And maybe he has a cute candle just to set like a mood. And it's all on video call, but that's a date. That's different than just a regular like FaceTime call.
Got it.
So some tips for you, Ethan.
Yeah.
Wow, a date on Valentine's Day.
No, hey, it's not that deep.
I think the day you picked, if you told her you wanted to do it Thursday or Tuesday, it's different. But on Wednesday, it's pretty deep.
Okay, but I was thinking about it.
And you should buy flowers, or just a singular. Like, you should have a rose. Even though she can't get it, but just to show her. You know?
Whoa.
No?
I feel like that's like a big jump.
It's just because you picked Valentine's Day.
Okay, but let me explain my thinking. I was pretty sure she didn't have plans on Valentine's Day because she has told me she's not talking to any other guys.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, if I was in her shoes, I might be a little sad that I'm spending Valentine's Day alone. And so I was like, well, if I like do something nice, like that's even a little bit thoughtful, then at least she can like tell people, oh, I have plans like tonight. And so I just thought it would be cute.
I think when you're just seeing somebody, to have Valentine's Day plans is a big deal, in my opinion. If I'm that girl and I'm talking to people, like right now, I told you I'm not talking to email cheater, but there is people that I'm talking to. I would not have Valentine's plans with any of them. I feel like that's very serious. You're saying for sure, but here you are.
Okay, I think all of you should comment down below. Do you think it's serious or not? Because I'm thinking it's not that serious. I'm just trying to do something nice.
No, I think it's very serious. Very serious.
Okay, vote below. Let us know.
If Sonia's right or if Ethan is right.
Right. Okay, and should I get into the tea a little bit? It's not tea, but...
How hot is your tea, Ethan?
It's like 5 out of 10.
You can tell us.
Medium.
Okay. You can tell us.
Okay, I'm sorry for like dragging this out, but during our last FaceTime, so when we have calls, I'm trying to like build a friendship, but then I'm also trying to like figure out what her values are.
Right.
What she's like as a person and how she reacts in different situations. And so I'm also asking her some more serious questions because I've never met this person and I understand that we don't know each other very well.
Right.
But if we're not a good fit, I want to end it as soon as possible.
True. Okay.
Just being fully realistic. Yeah. I don't want to waste her time. I don't want to waste my time, especially because... if we do meet up, it's going to take so much effort to fly. So I was asking her what her type was.
Okay.
and like this kind of opened a can of worms. But I'm not her type.
Okay.
I'm not her like...
Her usual type.
Her usual type.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that's fine. But her usual type is like at least 6 foot white guys.
Okay.
And like guys,
so she's
like
into a frat bro.
Maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know if you guys can tell, right? Like you can only see me like torso up, and unless you know me, I am not a 6 foot tall white guy.
You're not a white guy?
No. I know like I might seem a little like ethnically ambiguous, but no, I'm not a white guy.
Oh my god. Okay.
And I don't act like one too.
Yeah.
But like I don't care that I'm not her usual type.
Yeah.
And she's like made it clear that I think she's also like, as she's dated, she's realized that her like usual type doesn't work for her.
Right.
Because it's like it's not just like the physical, but I think there's a certain type of personality that attracts her.
Toxic,
and
probably.
there's a good chance. I'm
okay.
not sure. But I forgot what I was
So
going to say.
she was talking to you about her type and the height.
Mm-hmm.
And did you tell her about your body type then? Like, where did the conversation go when she said my type is 6 feet tall white guys? What did you respond?
Oh, I said, well, I don't really care, and I'm not intimidated by that.
Yeah.
And
You shouldn't be.
And also because I asked the question. So I feel like if you ask that kind of question, you can't be like, you can't feel some type of way based on the answer.
Okay,
you have to like
true.
be able to have a mindset of like you're okay with whatever the answer is.
Right.
But then it just got me thinking.
Did you ask about her body type? Like, where did it, or did she ask, did you tell her what your type is? Like,
No.
where did the conversation go?
It was not a two-way street. Okay, so she got like, we started talking about like what her experiences were, not like all the details.
Okay.
But like with these guys in general, also like with long distance, and I think that this is like very new for her, like
Right.
dating people who are not her type.
Right.
And so like we'll leave it at that, but I think it'll be interesting to see like where things go, because like she has a good amount of dating experience,
Right.
but then this is still like very new to her, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get into like more stuff later.
Okay, we'll slowly watch this unfold.
Yeah. There's no rush.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, Ethan, I guess we can get into our main topic.
Yeah.
Which is something that Ethan and I are very passionate about. I hope you guys can tell.
Yeah.
It's about fashion, outfits, but more specifically for first dates. Ethan, I guess I can ask you, because you've been going on a lot of first dates, and because you're going to need help with what you're going to wear on your first date on Valentine's Day.
I don't need help. Come on now.
Okay, then what are you going to wear? Tell us. What is a typical go-to first date outfit?
So I don't wear the same outfit for every single first date, even though I could.
Yeah, totally.
But I do have a lucky first date shoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ethan's
and-
big on shoes, you guys. Really big.
Yeah, shoes are my favorite thing. I have so many shoes. Actually, over the weekend, I just got a new shoe rack, and it's like 10 tiers high.
Whoa.
And like each row can fit like 5 shoes. It can like fit 50 shoes.
you gotta put your shoes on there, take a picture, and you have to show us.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like a very great way to store your shoes.
I see. Okay, so I don't know when this episode is gonna air, but if I have that shoe rack ready, I'll pop it up right now.
All right.
For you to see. Actually, it won't show all my shoes because a lot of my shoes are still back home in New York.
Okay.
Anyways, so I have a lucky pair of shoes, and they're my white leather Vejas.
Okay.
And so I think that's a great first date shoe because I'm not a big fan of like guys wearing sneakers on a first date.
Okay.
Especially if those are workout sneakers for you. If you're
Oh,
playing sports
yeah.
in them, you're going to the gym in them, I think that's a huge like
It's
red
just,
flag.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. It shows like minimal effort, but not in a cool way. It shows minimal effort like you actually don't care.
Right. And so there are some sneakers that I think are totally okay to go out in. I think leather sneakers
Yeah.
are one of them. Also, like just anything that's clean, like
Right.
a canvas shoe.
Oh, yeah.
But something that you're not being active in. And then I think,
Like, please don't wear your Hokas that you just went for a run in.
Yeah.
Like on a first date.
yeah, I have done that on a second date though.
On a second date, okay, you're getting more your personality, sure. But the first date, you have to dress to impress, but also not try too hard, obviously. So like Ethan's saying leather, but definitely not like your pointy, clickety, clackety leather shoes that you wear to work. Like
Definitely.
those are, like
yeah.
I don't even think we need to say that.
Yeah, I don't know like who would buy shoes like that. That's crazy. But okay, so those are my shoes, my white leather Vejas, and I'll pop a picture up if
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you wear them.
Yeah, I don't like to wear into the office a lot because I take public transportation and I don't want to mess them up.
Okay.
But I will say those are like my lucky first date shoes. But it
Lucky?
hasn't worked out so far.
How are they lucky then?
They aren't lucky anymore. If that says enough, right? So I don't know. Like they're still my go-tos, but
Yeah.
they haven't been doing it for me.
How were they lucky? Can you just tell us a little tidbit on what kind of luck they brought you?
I think all I will say is I've been told that not a lot of guys in the Bay Area dress better than me.
Oh, 100% I agree.
So it's a bit of a turn on for some people.
Okay, I guess we're gonna leave it at that.
Okay, so those are the shoes, but I think another go-to for me is just wearing something with a collar.
Okay.
And so
Yeah,
for
that's
me, that's like a denim jacket
Okay. Mm-hmm.
or a polo shirt. Like a nice polo shirt,
Right.
not like something that's knitted.
Right.
And so I like to do that because it's like, it's in between casual and dressy, and you
Right.
can like dress it up, dress it down.
Right.
But it just shows that I'm a little more thoughtful.
Yeah, it's a little bit respectful also. You don't want to just show up in like a t-shirt that you also wear to bed. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
it's nice. Okay.
Yeah. And so, but then the thing is, let's say I go like more simple on the top, something that has more of a muted color, more simple design. So for example, I have this polo that's like more simple, then I'll like dress it up a little bit.
Okay.
And so how I'll do that is I'll wear my pleated pants.
Okay.
Or like my pants are just a little more dressy.
Right. And I totally
That's
agree
it.
with this on what Ethan is saying. I think it applies for girls too. I feel like you don't want to be too dressed up, but you'll choose one thing. Either your bottoms are going to be dressy or your top's going to be dressy. And you can mix and match whatever it is. So
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah. And so I do think like going with something that has a collar it won't do you wrong.
Yeah.
And so even like something like this, it could be like a jacket or just a shirt. I do think I wouldn't recommend like a button down shirt.
Yeah.
I think that's doing a little too much. But if it's like a flannel that you could button down, I would just leave it unbuttoned.
Okay.
And like
I feel like a button down I wouldn't mind if a guy wore on a first date. Like depending on, because you know if you're going somewhere nice on a first date, like it's okay. But I wouldn't want it to be like, I feel like the material of the button down matters a lot. Like you were saying, a flannel, maybe like a linen button down is okay. That's still on like the casual side. It's
Yeah.
kind of the same vibe as the polo, but definitely not like a work button down, because that's
Definitely.
like
Yeah.
no way. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, I will say linen button downs are like if a guy has that in his wardrobe, that's pretty attractive.
Oh,
but also
100%.
it's not like super common, and so
That's
like
fair.
guys out there take notes. Linen button down, super good for the beach.
Yeah, you
and
could.
super
Oh my
good
gosh,
for
you
first
could wear
dates.
unbuttoned. You could wear
Yeah.
like those are so. You could give it to your girl. Like they're so multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Everybody needs linen in their wardrobe.
But they're super hard to iron. And so don't wear it if you're like not down to like put in work and
Like if you're going to the movies and it's gonna get all crumpled, don't wear it. It
Yeah.
looks so bad when it's crumpled. But I
Yeah.
think they've made some crumple-free linens blends. Linen
Oh.
blends, not direct linens. I'll
Okay.
look. I'll look in my.
I need to get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then usually I'll like put on some cologne too. Because
Okay.
I think the sense of smell
Oh,
is like
yeah.
really important, especially
100%.
for a first impression. It's probably not something I'll wear all the time, but definitely on a first date to make a good impression,
Right.
I'm gonna put on some cologne.
Okay.
Yeah. And I like another segment that we want to do on this pod is to kind of review our favorite products. And so
Ooh.
one day we'll like try to give you guys some recommendations on what are good colognes and
Yeah.
perfumes to use. Okay. What about you, Sonia?
I am gonna start with perfume. I feel like you like hit the mark there. I feel like that's one of the most important things. I feel like that's the thing I've gotten complimented on the most. People always like, I tend to get cold a lot. Even if I have my own jackets, I'll usually end up borrowing the other person's jacket or whatever. And I always get a text afterwards like, oh, this smells like you. And they mean it in like a really good way. So you should listen to our perfume and cologne recommendations. But I think on a first date, more important than the actual perfume, I feel like is like how your body smells. So I like to start like right when you get out of the shower, like Sol de Janeiro. It's Cheriosa, I think. It's like a body moisturizer and it's super scented. And I like to put that on when my skin's still like a little damp. So like the smell like mixes and becomes one with my natural smells. And then I like to spritz body spray on top. And then I put like the tiniest amount of perfume, maybe on a jacket or something. But I like to focus more, especially for a first date, on like just like, because I feel like if you put too much perfume, it's like trying too hard. So I don't even want you to know that I've put on perfume. I just want you to think like this is how like I smell when I get out of the shower. You know, like this is just my smell. And I don't know, that seemed to work really well for first dates that I've had.
Nice.
And then in terms of outfits, I definitely don't believe in trying hard on a first date. I feel like it like gasses the other person up too much.
Yeah.
And I feel like I like to hold a little bit of power and like not let them think that they're all that. I personally just in general like to dress up, like even if it's to go to the grocery store. But I believe in what Ethan was saying, like either fancy top or fancy bottom, but definitely not both. And either you can play up the accessories, purses, or you can like have nicer shoes, but definitely don't do both. So like, yeah.
In general, how revealing are you gonna allow your outfit to be?
I think on a first date, like, so my roommate actually told me this rule because we go to each other's work parties. So we have dress codes so that nobody's looking too out of pocket because we also go out with each other and like those outfits are very different. And I think, you know, if you can see, if it's a small top, it needs to be big pants. So if you have a crop top, something sleeveless, something backless, definitely do it with jeans. Or if you have like something long sleeves like what I'm wearing right now, you could put on like a cute little skirt, a pair of shorts, like whatever you want. But you can't do small tops, small bottoms, because then it's going to send a wrong message, I think.
What kind of message is that sending?
It's going to send a message like this date is going to end up at somebody's apartment. And if that's the message you want to send, that's totally fine. I just feel like even if that's the message you want to send, you can still send that with more covered up clothes. I just feel like on a first date, it's all about like making the other person curious about you and like, you know, making them think about you. You want to get stuck in their head. If you have a perfume that every other girl smells like, you're not going to get stuck in their head. But if your body smells like something, that's like a very unique thing, and that's going to get stuck in them.
Yeah.
You know? Or if you're wearing kind of like maybe like a baggier thing that's kind of more hiding your body, you're going to be stuck in their head because they're thinking, what's underneath that?
For sure.
As opposed to showing them everything.
Okay, so that like makes me question, how much do you notice in the other person's outfit? And then I'll give the guy's perspective on how much I notice.
Okay.
And because I hear everything that you're saying, but then I'm wondering like how much a guy would like.
Like how much actually translates?
Yeah.
Totally. So I think obviously it's a first date, so everyone's kind of like a little bit nervous. Even if you're cool and you've done a bazillion first dates, you're a little bit nervous because, you know, this person's seeing you for the first time, they're judging you. So I think a lot of it is you're just stuck in your own head thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
But I think the things I do notice is like shoes, and a guy 100% always, I would say shoes, hair, smell, and then like you said, the shirt. Like the shirt, I would put it like last. Like, you know, do you have a collar? Like, is it something that you're at least trying with? But it would be shoes, then hair, then smell, and then your clothes.
I feel like your face is like probably at the top of all those things. Like your smile and
right.
Like I feel like that.
But we're talking here about the things you can wear.
Okay. And I think I'm saying like if you have like a good personality and like good facial reactions or expressions, then it can really like just drive your outfit home.
True. But I mean, we're talking here, Ethan, about that first instant, okay? Yeah. When he pulls up to your house, he's getting out of his car to pick you up, and he's standing by his car, right? Yeah. Waiting for you to walk up to him. So at that point, he's just watching you walk to him. So he's judging like, oh, how does her hair look? Is she wearing heels or sneakers? Whatever. And at that moment, I'm looking at you, the guy I'm walking towards, to go say hello for the first time in person.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at, like, okay, like, you kind of do, like, the once over to see what are they wearing.
For sure. And I'm not, I don't want to, like, sound offensive, but I think, like, you're giving them a rundown of how they look.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they're smiling, I feel like then, you know, that's all I'm saying. But I will say on a guy's part, I feel like guys in general just notice a lot less.
Yeah.
And so I do think
all the effort that we put in, and you're saying you notice a lot less.
in general, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say smell goes a long way.
Right.
And so I do think if you put extra effort in that, that would really help. Like I would really appreciate that as a guy.
Right.
But then I do think, like, if I was on a date with a girl, as long as she wore something that's clean, like put together, I wouldn't think too much more about that. If it's revealing, then I would be thinking a lot. But if it's just
what would you be thinking a lot about?
I would be thinking about how sexually attracted I am. And if you haven't seen episode 1, we would recommend that you go watch it now.
Ethan talks a lot about his sexual attraction in women.
Uh-huh. No, not a lot, but just a little bit.
But okay, so what are things that stick out to you? Like, as a girl, if we're getting ready, okay, you said smell. What is something else that you really notice?
You know, something that I didn't think I would notice, but out of everyone that I've gone on dates with, something that really caught my eye was like having nice eyeliner.
Okay.
But the thing, like, that has impressed me the most in terms of appearance is I went on a date with one girl, and she's super attractive, so she has blue eyes, and what she did was she put on eyeliner that has like blue speckles in it.
Wow.
And it just like drew out her eyes
Right.
like 10 times.
Okay.
And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to sound like a creep.
Yeah.
But like when I was looking at her eyes, like I was just noticing that, and I like fell in love. And it was a mistake to like with that girl, but then I also noticed the nails too. Nails
Okay.
is something that I notice. A lot.
Okay, so we're saying scent, like play up the makeup on the eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I think it's something that's underrated.
Yeah.
It could.
No,
be
I mean, and a lot of
that
people, like, you know how
helps,
you were
yeah.
talking about expressions and like you were saying smiles. I think people notice each other's eyes a lot. I feel like if you're really having like a deep conversation and you're in the moment, like you're really like staring deeply into each other's eyes. So I feel like, yeah, it makes sense to focus or play up the eye makeup.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then we said nails. I feel like, again, you don't have to like have your nails done, but just like clean, like trimmed cuticles, like filed nails, like just it shows that you're clean. You know, it goes to show that you're well groomed, you're clean, you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Which people really like, obviously.
Yeah. And I do think as a guy, when you're on a first date, it is important to compliment your date. And
Yeah.
so you should be like noticing things that she has put effort in and complimenting those things.
True.
Like, even if you don't like care too much about it, you should definitely show that you appreciate her putting in the effort.
Yeah.
And so another thing besides the nails, besides like eyeliner, I think something that you can compliment are her eyebrows. And so it's just something that is not super common as a compliment.
I feel like compliment someone's hair, because hair takes a lot of effort, especially now with like the Dyson and stuff like that. Oh my God, it takes like, ask me. I spent hours on my hair last week waiting for stupid email cheater to show up. So compliment people's hair. Compliment things that either take a lot of effort or that are like so subtle that, you know, like,
Shows that you notice.
yeah, shows that you notice, because girls really like attentive guys.
Yeah. Cool. And so we've talked about a lot of like the good things that we like to do.
Right.
What are things that we've seen that are good? And then what are things that we've seen that are bad?
Dirty shoes. Somebody showed up once to pick me up.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because I didn't like him, but I saw his shoes and they were dirty. They were Air Force Ones. They were dirty and they were all scrunched up.
Yeah.
They were all creased up. And I was just like, you literally like don't even care. And then another person showed up in all fairness, he was a really good guy, but he worked in his family's restaurant a lot. So he would, a lot of times when we would go on dates, it'd be right after his shift. But he just smelled of food. Like, and I was so not into it. Like, honestly, show up an hour later, but just like, don't smell like food. You know, like you're wearing your clothes that you wore at work. Like, it's making me think that these are the clothes you were sweating in while you were running around in the kitchen. Like, no.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're that guy, you don't have a lot of options. But that's neither here nor there. I think.
And then another one that I really didn't like. So Ethan was talking about flannels. Flannels are okay. Except, you know those flannels that are not flannel material? They're just like a plaid shirt. Like a button-down plaid shirt, like cotton material. I don't know why. It just like, it's giving me country vibes. I was so not into it. So those are my 3 worst things that I noticed.
Okay. I respect that.
What about you?
I will say the last one is definitely subjective.
True. I think also if you're going to wear a flannel, because a flannel, obviously everybody knows is country vibes, but it depends on the shoes, the jeans, like you can make it modern. But this guy that I went out with, like he wore a flannel or a cotton flannel plaid shirt, and like, you know, his shoes were also those like rugged country canvas loafers, like those brownie colored ones. Like just the whole thing together, I was just like, did you just walk off a ranch? Like, what are you doing? So I think you can wear it, but yeah, you just have to style it right.
Yeah. To be honest, I think for me, I haven't seen anything that I don't like. I think.
Good job, girls.
Yeah. Shout out to all of you. And I think that says a lot about like girls and then like how much effort guys put.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and this has never happened to me on a first date, but I've heard about this. Please don't wear shorts on a first date.
Oh man.
As a guy, please.
Honestly, I feel like
and hide your toes.
I feel like the only acceptable places for shorts are if you're playing sports or if you're going to like an amusement park.
Yeah. And on a beach, like it's fine. You can have your little shorts and whatever, but yeah, no toes and no knees. I don't want to see that on a first date. That's too much.
Yeah. In general, like for the guys out there, I feel like shorts are pretty much no-go.
And
just in general,
no white
whenever you go out.
either. I don't want to see armpit.
Have you seen that
No,
before?
I haven't. Sorry, these are just like, I don't know. Maybe we're reading a big audience and I'm just putting it out there. No armpits, no knees, no toes, guys.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. And so if you're a guy out there and you're thinking, well, I'm going on a first date, it's in the summer and it's too hot to wear long pants, I will say like wearing something close to like dress pants will do a good job with that. So not like your black dress pants that you'll wear to a wedding or like church or something, but like dress pants with like a simple pattern that are loose and they're a very material. Like thin sheer material. Those would be really good in this.
Also, we could go back to linen. Feel free to wear your linen pants. Also very
okay. Not every guy has linen pants though. Just putting that out there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, don't do the shorts. I will also say, don't wear a hat. And so that is something that I've seen, and
it makes me feel like they're concealing their hair. Like, are you bald under there? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. And it's like why, like growing up, we are never allowed to wear hats to school,
right?
Or to like church, or like
to
even
work,
to
like,
exactly. It's just a little too casual.
Yeah.
And it like hides your face too.
And also you're gonna have hat hair when you take it off, and like, oh, it's such an ick. Hat hair is an ick. So yeah, so avoid the hats. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. Okay, but so we're hating on the guys a lot. Sure, girls have never done anything outrageous, but what's stuff that you saw a girl wear or something about her appearance that you didn't like? Like maybe it could be like red lipstick on a first date. Like maybe, you know, stuff that you found was like or like maybe too much makeup or too little makeup. Like just, you could be picky. You could tell us what you like. How about nothing that they did wrong, but something you just didn't like?
Man, you're really putting me on the spot here. Oh, okay. I can speak a little bit on this, and I'm not gonna get too deep into it, just because I feel like on a girl's part, girls do a good job.
Yeah,
but,
we know.
Okay, so I have seen hats. And so I
As a
I
girl?
don't like that.
Okay.
But there was one girl that I went out with, and she came straight from a school event.
Right.
And so she was wearing a graphic t-shirt and like cargo pants, but it was for an event.
Okay.
So they were doing, it was like Spirit Week or something.
Okay.
And so that's why she was wearing it. But if you're in that situation, if you're coming straight from work or like something where you're wearing something more casual, I would say bring a change of clothes, just something simple
Yeah,
to change into.
100%.
It's not,
I've had dates straight from work, and believe me, I have perfume in my bag. I have makeup touch-ups, like maybe a change of shirt, like something for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, I didn't really care. And she also felt really self-conscious about it.
Okay.
Because, like, when she saw me, I think she felt, like, a little uneasy.
Okay.
And so, actually, the next time we went out, she changed in her car before she went on the date. And so I did appreciate that.
Yeah.
It made her really late. But I'm like, okay, like, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Uh,
You can change in your car and still be on time, though.
I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. If you're just like, if you just got off work and you don't have a lot of time,
Right.
like I respect that. But I would just say, like, if you need some more time to change, fix yourself up, just let the other person know. And that's totally okay. The other thing I will say is when it comes to makeup, I do think guys in general,
Let me guess what you're going to say. Less is more.
yes, but I do understand. So every guy who thinks that less makeup is better, in general, still prefers like basic minimal makeup.
Like, they still prefer a full face. It just has to look like it's not a lot of makeup.
Wait, I don't think they prefer a full face.
I think I think we can do a segment on this, like a quick one, because if I showed you pictures of girls and I told you, do you think she's wearing makeup? You'll say, oh, it's so little. And
no,
then
I'm gonna pass a test, guys. I got you guys.
we're gonna do this test next time for sure, because we really need to test Ethan.
Next
But
episode.
When Ethan's saying less is more, or what did you say? You said the bare minimum.
No, I'm saying.
How much makeup?
So I'm saying when guys say that they prefer less makeup,
Yeah.
they still they still like eye makeup and like maybe just like something like basic over like the whole face, but
Okay.
not like anything crazy.
Okay, and I think this is like a general consensus. And also, girls, you don't want to put in all this effort to go on a date with some guy, especially if it's a first date. Like, I feel like you can save all, like, you know, like if you want to do your glitter eyeshadow or like a fun eyeliner, like you can save that. But when you're going out with your girls, I feel like in general, guys are less appreciative of like those little details. So I feel like you can just do like, yeah, bare minimum, like Ethan said, like just foundation, blush,
Yeah, that's
and
what
eyes.
it's called.
Like, I
Yeah.
think that's it. And then you're good to go.
Yeah, and most guys will think that you're not wearing makeup if
Yeah.
you do those things.
Yeah.
But I will pass a test for all the guys out there next episode.
I have some really good pictures up my sleeve, so we'll see, Ethan.
Let's do it. I'm gonna pass for sure. Okay, so we've talked about what we like, what we don't like, what we
Yeah.
recommend, and what we don't.
Yeah.
But if a guy doesn't dress super well, or he's like wearing dirty shoes,
Right.
not putting a lot of effort in how he smells, is that gonna change the scale for you? Like, is that gonna stop
No.
you from?
No, realistically, like this whole episode, I feel like we talked about appearances, and you know, I feel like it's so true. The age-old saying, like, "Don't judge a book by its cover," because you know, you were kind of getting into it, you know, about someone's smile. I feel like at the end of the day, even if it is a first date, for sure you're gonna have that instant moment when you know you're walking to their car to say hello, where you're kind of judging what they're wearing and how they look. But after like that instant moment passes, it's all on their personality. Like it's all riding on how well can you hold a conversation, and like, you know, do I like being around you? Are you fun to talk to? So I feel like at the end of the day, how you dress doesn't really matter that much. I feel like it's nice. If you dress nice, it's, you know, it shows more deeper things like, oh, this person cares. They ironed their shirt or their shoes are clean.
Yeah.
Which is nice to feel like. But I think if you're talking to somebody and you just really like the conversation, like, it doesn't matter if their shoes are like old and creased up.
Definitely. So I think to sum this up, I will say if you dress nicely and you smell good, then it can only boost you
Benefit.
up.
Yeah.
And if you are not dressing so well, you're wearing things that are dirty, you're giving off an impression that you kind of have to, your personality has to counter.
Right.
And so you're starting off like at a lower baseline. You still have a chance, but
Yeah.
everything else has to work a little harder for you. And so,
And everybody likes to be around people who, look presentable.
yeah.
I feel like that's not a bad thing. Like, I want to feel, one thing I think about a lot, like with that guy who used to come from his parents' restaurant, like, I'm going to walk in next to you going somewhere. So if you look bad, I look bad. Because it looks bad on me that I'm with somebody who doesn't care, and here I am, like, putting all this effort in. It looks kind of bad. So I feel like in general, it can't do any harm, I guess. Keep our tips in mind. And yeah, they're only going to help.
Yeah, and we're not saying you need to ball out, like spend a lot of money. I think overall the things that we mentioned, anyone can have in your wardrobe. And I like what you, I guess maybe didn't say, Sonia, because
You like what I didn't say?
because like on the girl side, you didn't say like any specific types of
Oh,
clothes,
okay,
right? So you really can work with anything that
Yeah.
you have already, and even as a guy. Just like make sure it's clean, like
Yeah.
you've ironed your clothes, and
And a
it's
collar
not-
doesn't hurt, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
At the end of the day, just be comfortable. If you're comfortable in what you wear, your personality will. If you're just like fidgeting the whole time with your outfit, like it's gonna show. So just be comfortable.
Yeah, and wear something that like gives you confidence,
Yeah.
unless
100%.
they're like your gym shoes.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up this episode with a new segment. It's called Red Flag, Green Flag, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna read. We have a list of things that someone could possibly do or be like that you're going out with, and then we're gonna say if it's a red flag, a green flag, or a beige flag.
Okay.
And so, just to let everyone out there know, a beige flag is something that it doesn't make you feel any type of way. Like, this is not a turn off, this is not a turn on. And it's just kind of, it doesn't move the needle.
Okay.
And so we can also call something a beige flag. But let's see if we're able to disagree on any of these. And actually, I think what we'll do is we'll read out each of these, and then we'll, at the same time, we'll do like a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Okay.
And just see like if we initially agree or disagree.
All right.
Okay. So the first flag is long paragraph text. So you're texting with someone, they're giving like long texts to you. You ready?
Oh man.
Okay, so beige flag is middle.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Do you want to
Okay.
go first? We're both saying that it's a red flag.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just, if you have to send that long of a text, you can just wait till you see me in person, or you can call me. I feel like if you're taking that much time to type it out, I feel like it shows you're thinking about stuff so much, and that's kind of, I'm not into it. If you have to if you have to convey such a long message, I'd rather you do it instantaneously in person or on a call.
Yeah. I will say if you're deeper into a relationship, let's say you are official, then I can understand like sometimes just send a long text just because you're trying to explain things, and maybe you're not in a place where you can have a call.
Right.
But if you're just getting to know a person, or you're just going out with them for the first time, that's not a good look. Even for me, like doing online dating, I will come across people who give very, very long messages. And to me, it just comes off as desperate.
Yeah, fair enough. 100%.
Yeah.
We can do a segment on scary dating stories, and I can show you guys some long messages.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's too much. No one has time to read that much.
Next one. What do we think about girls who want to be housewives? So I feel like deep down, maybe every girl wants to be a housewife, but I feel like we're talking about girls who, in those initial dating days are very open and vocal about their dating goals and what they hope to be you know, if you guys get together.
They want to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
Ready?
shoot. Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
What the heck?
Okay.
Okay, Ethan knows I want to be a housewife and a stay-at-home mom, so I'm taking this one personally.
Yeah, you're just catching strays right now.
Why? Okay, go ahead, Ethan. I'll let you start. Why is it a red flag?
I think it's not something you should bring up initially. I think it's okay to want to be a housewife, but at the end of the day, not a lot of guys have it made like that. Especially nowadays when it's so hard to save money and you really need a dual income,
Right.
depending on where you live, to buy a house, settle down, and even think about starting to pay for college, unless like you're going out with someone who's a hedge fund manager or like super high up in tech or like, I don't know, a politician. It's just not so easy for
Fair.
a guy to make enough.
And I do understand that. The reason that I am saying it's a green flag is because I think it's a very positive thing in dating, even in the early stages. If two people are coming together and they're able to clearly express what they would like. You know, like I think that's why it's a positive thing. I think if you're able to say, "Oh, I do want to be a housewife later on," it kind of like lets you know where my head's at. It doesn't mean like just because you can't do that or it's not realistic that I'm not going to date you.
Yeah.
It's just like this is my goal. It'd be amazing if we could both work towards helping me achieve this goal,
I see.
you know?
I think another reason why I'm calling it a red flag is because
Does it give gold digger vibes?
it could, but I think people who say that they want to be a housewife fall into like two categories. So, like, one category is they really value being at home, raising the family, taking care of the kids, and just making sure that the house is like a welcoming and clean environment for the whole family.
Right.
And I can appreciate that. But then I think on the other side, there are a lot of people out there that view being a housewife as retirement.
Okay.
And they see that as a way to just live a very comfortable life. And they're not really willing to contribute to the relationship. And so I will say, in this situation, if someone tells you that, you probably have to decide or decipher
Yeah.
exactly which group they fall in. Because I think there are some girls, maybe they don't have solid goals and maybe they're not a big fan of like school if they're in college.
Right.
And they'll just say, I want to be a housewife.
Okay.
And like they'll just use that as a default just because things aren't working out in other aspects of their life.
Right.
And so that's why overall I think it's a red flag.
Okay.
I do think that if that's just your, like, what you want for yourself and those are your values and you really want to raise a family, I think
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Right. And I think there's nothing wrong with expressing that. But I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think from the guy's perspective, it could be really hard to figure out, like, is she saying this for the right reasons or not? And I guess that's why you're dating her. You're trying to see. So I feel like if somebody's saying this to you, I feel like maybe it would be a beige flag then, Ethan. So they could figure out why are they saying this and what is like the intent behind it, as opposed to like, no way, like shut it down, stop talking to them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with that. All right. And then the last one for today are if the other person has a picture of a celebrity inside their phone case or on their phone case or as their wallpaper.
Okay. well,
Have you seen this?
I have. Okay, I guess yes, I have.
Okay.
Okay.
I do think it's more common for guys to like have that.
True. That is true. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Sonya's saying beige. I'm saying
I'm saying
red.
beige. Okay, the reason I'm saying beige is anytime that I've seen this, guys will have like a messy wallpaper or like a Ronaldo phone case, and to me it just looks very like, oh, he's just a kid, like, or like, oh, look at him like being excited about his little sports, and I don't think of it any more deeply than that. I've never seen like a guy have like a Dua Lipa phone case. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
What about you? Why is it a red flag?
So like I've seen guys like with a clear phone case and then they'll put like a sticker of like a K-pop star or like
Okay.
but usually they're younger when they do that.
Yeah.
But then I do think like guys in general, like I don't know, maybe I don't think their wallpaper would be Dua Lipa, but I could see like some guys doing it, and I just think that it's a sign of immaturity.
100%.
And I've thought about doing that. Like there's been many times like I almost made my wallpaper Natalie Portman from Star Wars just because like
Just because why?
that she was like my celebrity crush growing up, like seeing her in Star Wars. And so I'm not gonna lie, I've been very close to making her my wallpaper.
Okay.
And I feel like if a girl saw that, like I'm done for.
I think, yeah, I put a beige flag because I said, I felt like it's no harm, no foul. But I think, yeah, if you start having like girls on your background, I feel like that's just like why? Like it's just weird. It's like uncommon. It's like a little peculiar. It's just like, and it will make me think like, why does this guy have Natalie Portman in his background? So I guess it could be like a beige to red. So I could give that one to you, Ethan.
Yeah, but I will say if I saw another guy with Natalie Portman as their wallpaper, I would dap them for sure. So, like if we ever run into you, you can show me and I'll dap you up. Sonia wouldn't like it so much.
I feel not into it.
Yeah, but I think also if I was going out with a girl and then her wallpaper was like
Harry Styles.
Yeah, or like a K-pop group, I would not be.
Happy about it?
I would be okay with it.
Right.
Because I do think, like, as a guy, if you're ever insecure about those things, that's not. You're not, like. You're not setting yourself up well.
Right.
Just because I don't think you ever want to, like, go into your feelings of jealousy unless they're actually warranted.
Okay.
But I do think that if a girl had that, it would I think it's also a sign of immaturity.
Yeah. It just looks like you're still little and it's like, you still have these like I don't want to say unrealistic crushes because, maybe you can get Natalie Portman. But for the most part, it's just like a little bit childish to be that obsessed with celebrities, I think, in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time.